Custom Pokemon binders are really having a moment this year. And my dear friend asked if he could commission me to make one. I don't normally do commissions, but look, I'm a Pokemon fan. Hell, I even collect the cards myself. We're not going to get into the financial burden of that. So as a good friend, I offered to do it for free as long as I could have some creative freedom. But there's a few problems. These are really expensive. So realistically, I have like one shot at doing this. Also, I don't even know the process of drawing on these binders. So I'm going to need to do a little bit of research. Lastly, he's leaving the country in 1 week. All right, come on, let's go. So although I can draw, I don't know how I'm gonna make this custom binder. I'm not sure what tools we've got to use. So if you're interested in making your own custom binder, I thought I could do the research for us, go along the process together, and hopefully I could end up with a really cool gift to give my friend before he leaves. Now, the general consensus is people will use pre-existing artwork from the Pokemon company, from the cards, from Pokemon Pocket, and just kind of replicate artwork onto the binder. And while that's absolutely fine, I have no problem with that. Personally, for me, as an artist, I really wanna do a custom composition. I know I said we have full creative freedom, but there is just one rule. It has to be Gen 2 Pokemon. I can't argue with that. It's a good generation. So to customize this binder, we need specific tools. Of course, we have the binder. This is a black Volt X 9 pocket binder. It's a decent size. It's like A4, so I should be able to draw quite big onto this. Then next up, we have gesso. I think it's pronounced gesso. This is just bright white acrylic primer. We'll just be putting a thin base on the front to give us options and make the colors pop a little bit more. And then, of course, what we're going to be painting with Posca paint pens. Posca pens are really expensive. I'm sure there are cheaper alternatives, but unfortunately, my local art place doesn't have a cheap alternative, so I just had to get these, and obviously we're on a tight deadline. So one tool I haven't got yet is fixative. But yeah, that's all the tools. Let's get started. Okay, you're probably thinking, okay, Lewis, what Pokemon are you doing though? You've shown us very specific colors for these Posca pens. I'll just tell you, it's Lugia and Ho-Ho. Give it up for Lugia and Ho-Ho, man. And now you're probably thinking, why those two? Well, that shouldn't even be a question because they're fucking goated. But honestly, the real reason is I think I'll be able to do such a cool composition where in real life, you know, where birds kind of form a circle when they're fighting in the air and one of them's flying like upside down and one of them's flying above them. But the only problem with that is my friend's favorite Pokemon is Wooper. Maybe we'll do a little guest spot for him somewhere. Because he said I could have creative freedom and this is not about him really, so. Now, in order to not fuck this up completely, basically what I'm gonna need to do is thumbnail sketches and then a thumbnail sketch with the color, so I know when it comes to actually putting the color down on the final piece, I can make sure that the colors I put on the thumbnail drawing match. So this is the thumbnail sketch I have currently. I want to do some sort of spiral cloud going round underneath them as if they're in the sky. Ho-Ho is going to be down here and Lugia is up here. Loki think Lugia is more powerful. In order to get these poses down, I've obviously been looking at Lugia and Ho-Ho as Pokemon to see their characteristics, but I've also been using pictures like this. I know I've only done the one thumbnail sketch, but this is the idea I had deep in my brain before starting this project. I'm going to draw this a little bit bigger now to try and flesh out some of the details before we turn it into the final sketch, and then I can put that final sketch traced onto the binder. So this is pretty much the final drawing. I'm going to do one more pass because we're going to have to be pretty accurate because we're using fine liners for the black outlines. But yeah, pretty happy with it. Do one more pass and then I should just get it loaded onto the binder and we can get painting. Guys, can I admit something? I didn't do a thumbnail sketch for the color. Honestly, I just got too lazy and I thought, well, I already know the colors of the Pokemon, so I just kind of have to wing the background afterwards once I see the Pokemon are colored in. There was no chance of me getting different colors because Posca pens come in very specific colors. So yeah, that's why there's no thumbnail sketch for the color. I always say I should do one because it will help me plan better. I can't even follow my own advice in my own video. But as I was doing this, I was noticing some of the colors were a lot harsher than the other colors that I had. So I worked out this really cool trick, and this is very obvious if you use paint a lot, but it's not obvious to me because I don't use paint a lot. I could just water down the acrylics further by using a paintbrush and water, because essentially acrylic pens are just water and acrylic in a tube. So if I water them down even more, then I'm going to be able to add more depth. But honestly, this method of watering down the acrylic pens by just putting like a little bit of a dab of where I want that shadow to be was honestly super helpful, and it's made me less scared to paint in the future. That's something I'm definitely going to explore going forward because I think I'm missing a trick here with painting, because you can just add so much more to a drawing, especially if I did color pencil and painting together. Like if I did an acrylic wash, I feel like I could add so much more depth and mood to my drawings. Now this next part of the process was like my favorite part, because up until this point all the lines were really thin coming through from the pencil, and I just knew it needed that like last bit of flair to feel like Game Boy or Nintendo DS artwork from back in the day, and it feels a bit retro. Once I got my brush pen out and started adding the black lines, oh my god, did it make it so much better. There's just something so satisfying coming towards the end of a piece that you're doing and then adding like a final cherry on top, and it just makes the piece so good. And you're like, okay, this is what we do it for, you know, this is the moment we reach for. So after about 5 hours, we're finally finished. Now be nice, because this is my first time making a custom binder. In my opinion, for my first go, I do think this is really cool, and it looks like artwork from like the Game Boy era. I think my friend's really gonna love this. Now all that's left to do is put it into safe packaging. Unfortunately, I didn't have fixative to spray over it, so I'm gonna have to cover it up and tell him to do that. I also put this little whooper on the back for him, since that's his favourite Pokemon. Pretty cool experience, not gonna lie. It's always fun to draw on something different that isn't just paper. I was kind of shitting myself drawing it in case I like ruined it, but I feel like when there's an actual deadline on something, pressure actually makes me perform better. Sometimes with my art, I'll just make up a deadline and then it doesn't really matter if I hit that deadline or not. But now I can work on some personal projects, which I'm excited about. I can get more into my world building again. Another question, have you made art today? It's okay if not, I'll make it for us. Let's go. So it's an absolutely gorgeous day today. I want to make the most of the UK weather while it's hot, because you never know when it's going to start raining again. And honestly, I finished all my stuff that I need to do today, so I thought, why not go explore the beautiful medieval city of York that I live in, and I'll take you guys along for the ride. Let's go. Right, I'm going to carry on doing some more world building exercises in my sketchbook. I have a little piece that I've planned recently. I don't really want to be super depressing during this video, so I'll keep it brief. I've gone through some grief recently in my family and it fucking sucks. I really want to do anything else at the moment. I'm trying to use some of that feeling as inspiration as to what to draw in my world, as a form of escapism, and I think it's really helping. I've also been thinking a lot about how lucky and privileged I am to live in a cool medieval city like York. It's rich in history and architecture and just gothic medieval vibes, and it's really helping me understand my world building and the stuff I want to inspire how my landscape and the things in my world, how they look. You'll see it in the video, like there's so many cool looking things that inspire me later on. They just come in conscious ways, and I think being in a place where I'm surrounded by that now has really given me like a boost in my art. I'm thinking about it on a deeper level rather than just using the internet for like a source of inspiration. I'm really trying to come away from using Pinterest and looking at other artists for that inspiration. I think it's good to absorb and be a sponge around you and then kind of expel all of that. So that's like the two main things I'm feeling at the moment. Like, I'm happy that I live here, sad because I have grief at the moment in my family. So me and my girlfriend moved to York a year ago, and we previously lived in my childhood town, and I'd lived there for around 28 years, which is a really long time. So it's obviously got its quirks, but it wasn't very visually interesting, and in our old flat I did feel like I was in a bit of a box. So I would look to the internet for a source of inspiration because I wasn't really getting much real life experience. Well, I'm glad I pushed myself to move. Well, realistically it was my girlfriend that pushed us to move. I'm glad we did that because it's given me a new lease of life. Realistically, it's not like I've moved to a different country. I'm only like 3 hours down the road from my childhood town, but it was a big change for me. I was like a country bumpkin, and I didn't think I'd ever live in a city. And I know York isn't the biggest city. It's not the London or Manchester or whatever. There's enough going on here for me that keeps me motivated, keeps me moving, and keeps me inspired. But now I think because I made that change, I'm willing to change more about myself and push myself. This led to me thinking about this common theme I have in my life where I am always too scared to do something or go all in because I feel like I need to wait or have everything aligned perfectly before I press go. And it could be something I really, really want to do. And since doing YouTube, like, I'll be honest, this is something I genuinely want to do like full time if I could. I want to be able to support myself making art, and I want to get to a situation where I could either go to conventions and sell my art, I could sell my art online, could just make enough money on YouTube to like through sponsors and just to survive. Like, I don't even want to make a lot of money, I just want like the baselines. And I also want to do some sort of like Patreon thing where every month I send a package that is basically from this world that I'm building, and when you open it up it's like visual storytelling. There's maybe like an actual story in there, there's artwork, there's little gifs. I don't know, I haven't fully figured it out yet, but I'm always too scared to do that sort of thing. And I think I'll go onto the internet and see other people doing it, and I'm like, how? I feel like I could do that. Like, I'll tell myself that, but then like when it actually comes to it, don't. So I'm like, what is this thing that's stopping me actually just putting my foot forward and just starting it? Like, it doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be completely ready before I push it out there. I can just start and like fail upwards, because at least I've moved forward a little bit. The current point I'm at now, I haven't moved forward at all. I think that's the reason I've been so strict on myself as well with uploading every 2 weeks. It's like a promise I made to myself when I came back after my big break. If I'm going to do this thing, I need to do it properly and at least give it a go. Upload consistently and see what happens. Like, I could change my life. That's what that's the bigger picture here. Like, I don't think I would have done that living in my childhood home. I think I had to make these like big life changes in order to have the confidence to make these decisions now. And yeah, it might not work out, it might go a completely different direction than I thought it would. It might be like really fucking difficult to actually make work, and I decided I don't want to do it anymore. But at least at this current point, present me is looking after past me and future me. I think that's a nice segue into, look, hey, if you want to support me and you like what I do and you want to continue seeing me do this, then hit that subscribe button, like the video, it all helps. Honestly, you guys just being here, I massively appreciate it. The more YouTube pushes my videos out, the more people see it, the better off I am, and the more art I can make. Hopefully one day I am posting packages to people and you get to be in my little world with me. But you're in my little world anyway now, physically. You know, digitally you're in my world right now, physically we're working on it. I don't want to go into the actual stories behind my artwork just yet because I'm still fleshing this big world out. Hopefully there's some sort of obvious signs as to what I'm doing and you get your own perspective on it, which would be cool. Like I said, this piece of my sketchbook, currently going through grief, it was just a way to escape for me, and I was thinking about the story, sort of emotions I could tell through my artwork to make it a little bit more deeper and less just a visually nice thing to look at. It actually has a bit of substance to it. But regardless of that, it was a really nice thing to just sit and listen to music and draw and lose time away and not forget the thing that I'm grieving about, but just move forward and have a time to be present. And it was nice. It was almost like healing my soul. This is a little bit of a tangent, but I do think with the rise of AI and the impact in artists that we just kind of have to keep trudging through and making the stuff that we want to make, because I think it connects us to ourselves and the world. It grounds everything around us, and it's important because that middle part where you're drawing and you're in the process is the part that is like truly human, feels the best, I hope, for you. Sometimes it doesn't feel the best, actually. No, that's not as black and white as I'm trying to make it out to be, but sometimes it literally is just, you know, you just float away with the fairies and you're drawing, and then you've come to the end and you're like, well, I've just made this whole piece by myself. My hands have made this thing. And you know, AI artists or the AI kid, they're not going to be able to do that. It's stupid. It just strips the soul out of like anything you're doing. Oh, it bugs me. That's a conversation for another video. I know a lot of people, especially artists and creative people, are feeling the burden and like the grip of all this tech on them at the moment, and it feels pointless to do silly little drawing in your sketchbook, or you know, to make art or to make music or to make anything. The thing is, I'm not smart enough to actually talk about this in a philosophical way, but it connects us all, and I love seeing art made by humans. I want more of it, so I'm going to make more of it myself. I want to be the change that we see in the world. Right, you lot, that's going to be it from me today. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Should probably get this sent off now to the post office. The vibes will continue in the next video. I'm also moving in a couple of weeks. I'll make sure to take you guys along because I'm going to do a complete art setup overhaul. I've got like a new space for my art room. I can't wait for that, to be honest. That's something I'm really excited about. You'll see a little before and after. It's a little bit too small in here now. We've got too used to the space. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good shit. I will see you in the next one.